Hey all, here are OS Reviews. In this video we're taking a quick look at something a little unconventional. It's called the Xooec X Shield, and it's a lockbox, aka a safe, but what makes it a little interesting is it has iris scanning biometrics for unlocking it. So of course, conventional safes can be operated using a lock and key, which this one still has as a backup method of opening it. Some models even have fingerprint recognition, but iris scanning is definitely a new form of biometrics I haven't seen before in any type of safe-related product, and they claim that this is going to be even more secure, as well as more accurate, interestingly enough, compared to something like fingerprint as well as face recognition, which of course is kind of the least accurate out of the bunch, unless it has 3D scanning similar to Apple's Face ID, but in most cases, if you're on Android, for example, if it's using just a single camera lens, it can be easily fooled by something like a photo, versus irises, which are completely unique to every single person. It's using an IR beam for that scanning process. It also claims to be very convenient, because compared to a password or a lock, of course, you don't have to carry anything with you, just your body, your eyes, and you're good to go. You don't have to even remember a password or enter it in. But again, it still has those backup methods, including a lock, as well as a touchpad that you can use to enter a password as other ways of unlocking it, or if you want to share the contents with up to 25 other members. So if you want a super high-tech safe/lockbox, this might be a model to consider. It even has LED lights on the inside that can illuminate objects when you're opening it up for a better presentation, or if you are trying to remove objects in the dark, for example. Everything here is backlit. And the iris scanning also works in the dark because it's powered by infrared. It can also function if you wear prescription glasses as well. And again, that built-in light will automatically turn on when the box is opened up. It charges up using USB Type-C, and it's still very compact, so it can fit easily into a desk drawer. A couple of other specs: it's crafted out of a solid chunk of aluminum alloys, should be quite sturdy, and the battery here can last in standby mode up to 6 months. It can still be operated though even without a battery if you use the lock and key method, or you can still use it while being charged up. There is no kind of app component, so everything is completely offline. The box here weighs around 7 pounds, so it's definitely a little on the heavy side. Maybe that's a good thing as a safe. It's part of the trade-off of having a slightly more sturdy build. Specific dimensions are 12.6 by 11 by 3 inches in terms of the width, so relatively compact there. And otherwise, the response time using the iris scanning is less than 1 second, so it should be still very fast. And last but not least, I'll just mention that this company, Xooec, actually specializes in iris recognition tech. So the lockbox is just one example. That being said, you're definitely paying a bit of a premium for the high-tech components, including the iris scanning, the LED backlights, as well as the fact that the door automatically opens up once it unlocks. So kind of a spring-assisted hinge as well. So it actually retails for under $200. All things considered, that might be fair if you're trying to really protect your items and you're going to be commonly using it. But of course, you can also find much cheaper safes if you don't have to go with a super high-tech route. That's just going to be up to personal preference. Now, in the packaging, we have just a quick user guide, as well as the aforementioned backup keys. 2 are included. There's also another kind of steel wire. You can attach it more securely inside of a room or space, and there's also some 3M stickies that you can put onto the back of the safe to prevent it from sliding around onto a surface or desk. And just a closer look at the safe, we have a glossy panel up front, which is touch sensitive. Again, it's illuminated. A little bit of a fingerprint magnet, though, that you have to kind of wipe down after a while. And what looks like a flush, maybe button, is really a piece that you can pull out to reveal the aforementioned backup manual key, as well as the Type-C port for charging. A USB Type-C cable is also included in the box. Now, this is the camera, along with a kind of IR fill light, and then all of the digits here that you can use. So it's telling us that the optimal distance is around 1 to 2 feet away from the safe. You can be looking at it and it will unlock. It's actually pretty fast in my testing, and then times out after around 5 to 10 seconds to prevent any false positives, for example, and to consume less power. The IR light, by the way, is invisible to the human eye, but it's picked up by the camera lens there in red. So let's do another quick example. And there we have it. So in that example, as we were looking into the camera, you can tell it will recognize you and then unlock it as such. It's spring assisted, so the door automatically pops open. Keep that in mind. So obviously don't look too close. You don't have to really press your face on the actual box, otherwise it might be spring up at you. But otherwise, again, that design is pretty cool on how it just automatically opens without you having to actually lifted up, and we do have the aforementioned LED lights at the base sections, which will then illuminate whatever you put on the inside so you can see it in a darker space. And again, we have that padded memory foam internal. So as a quick example here, let's just place a couple of objects into the safe. However, the key there is compact. Something like a 12-inch, maybe 13-inch laptop can squeeze in, but not anything any bigger than that. Smaller tablets, phones, as well as maybe something like a small journal, a book, can also fit into the space. Again, only around 3 to 4 inches in the height, though, so keep that in mind. It's not the largest safe in the world. And here's an example of what those LED lights look like in a slightly darker space, so it makes it, again, still easy enough to kind of spot what is inside. Here's another example using the touch password method, and the default is just 1234, so here's a quick sample. Of course, you can set your own password, of course. That's going to be more secure, but that just serves as an example. Also pretty quick. Or we can use the key method. That is the least high-tech per se, but still nice if the power is completely out and you still want to open it up, and we have to just simply twist and the door will still pop open. It has a sensor that will then automatically turn on those LED lights. So all three of these methods seems to work easy enough, although in the key method you have to kind of remember to twist and release the key for it to then remain shut. By the way, passwords can be set up to 8 digits long if you want extra security, and to get into the main menu, you can tap on the OK key twice.
Verify the administrative.
So it basically tells us to authenticate first to make sure that we're not just a random person trying to get into the UI. You have to use a password or your iris to scan, and then you can, as an admin, add more users or create a new password. So overall, pretty easy and simple to use. Just a final look here at the build. So again, really it's just a solid chunk of metal on all of the edges and corners. And then on the very back here, we do have the aforementioned soft touch rubber feet, preventing it from sliding around onto a surface or desk. So there we have it, just a quick look at the Xooec X-Safe iris recognition lockbox. The build here is indeed very robust and sturdy. Everything is constructed out of metal. The foam, by the way, on the inside can also be removed if you want to have it completely flat. So pretty neat if you want something easier to just authenticate with without carrying around a key or remembering a password necessarily. I like the fact that you can easily manage as an admin other groups of users on it as well. That being said, the price is definitely a little bit steep. So as we've mentioned previously, you are paying a bit of a premium for the iris functionality. So you can check out more details if you are interested in the links down below. For now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Xooec Iris Lockbox.